He knew the Gaza Strip for many years. We've been there before '88. We used to go there to the beach, and they were kind of neighbors. Thing escalated during the years, and during the last 20 years, they were getting used to run to have 9 seconds to run into the safe room every time there's an alarm.
Because of the rocket attacks from Gaza.
And because they're really close, so it's 9 is the best is the best scenario. 9 seconds. Usually they have less. So this morning they went to the safe room like always, and they were waiting for the messages to come and tell them that it's over. But
so you say they? It was your father?
Yeah, my father and his wife. Yeah.
And his wife?
Yeah, his wife Osnat. She's 71. He's 79, almost 80. So they went into the safe room, and they were waiting for this to over. And then we didn't hear from them for about 2 hours. And then she texted us that she told us Chaim was taken, and we started to understand what's going on, and we're also reading the media wherever was possible. We didn't understand quite, but then at around 2 or 3 o'clock, when the police came, and they were the first security forces to go into the kibbutz, there was no fight with the terrorists inside Nir Oz. They were there for
they'd taken so many.
They were there for around 6 hours. They did what they want and went out.
What happened to Osnat?
The first time they tried to break in the safe room, my father managed to back them off.
He's nearly 80, 79 years old.
Yeah, he's a strong guy. But then he knew they would come back reinforced, and he hid her inside the safe room. There's no really place to hide, but he just told her to lay low behind some laundry basket. And when they came back, he went out willingly.
Oh, he gave himself up to them.
Yeah, and they didn't go in the room to look.
Oh, so my goodness! So she survived.
She survived. She's alive and well, and she stayed there for about 4 hours, hiding, trying not to breathe, and hearing the people coming in and out the house.
What a hero!
And that was he is. And what's bothering him most now, and this we know by talking to people who came back, is the fact that he doesn't know what happened to her. He has no idea that she is alive, because he can only imagine the worst thing. Because when he came out, when the tourists took him out of the house and dragged him to Gaza, he must have seen the horrific sights along the way. So he can only imagine what happened to her. He doesn't have a clue that his heroic act was successful.
And of course, your father's not the only one who was affected. Your half brother and his girlfriend, they were visiting the kibbutz.
They were visiting the kibbutz. Yeah, my half brother Daniel Darlington. He really loved to. He's a British citizen living in Berlin. He really liked to come. He came every year to the kibbutz, and not just the kibbutz, to visit us here in Tel Aviv, and he really liked it here. And he was supposed to come back to Tel Aviv on Friday. His flight was Saturday night. I was supposed to take him to the airport, but then he really happily texted me, "I found a ride on Saturday, so I can stay one more day." In the kibbutz. He really, really loved it there, and he was really happy that he could find one more day to stay there in this small piece of paradise for him. And that's it. And 7 a.m, he wrote me, he texted me. He said, sorry for language, he said, "Shit, big balagan in the kibbutz." And that's it. That's the last I heard of him.
That's the last you heard. But he has been confirmed deceased.
Yeah,
he and
deceased. He was sent to England, to Manchester. And me and my older sister, we attended the funeral about a month ago. It was very difficult for us.
Your family ripped apart. I understand you have children. What do you tell them about what happened to Saba?
First, I tell them what happened to Uncle, because my girl asked me, why did they kill Danny? He's not Israeli. Why did they kill him? It doesn't make any sense for her. And then I try to explain that there are really, really bad people, animal, monsters. I can use whatever language I can to describe it. And I explained that they came to kill, okay? They came to terrorize. And now they are taking good care of grandfather. Those same horrible people are taking good care of grandfather, and he will come back. We will manage to free him from the hostage. That's the small lies that we have to believe in. No other way.
Helps you get through.
Yeah, that's what we have to tell ourselves.
I mean, you grew up in the kibbutz, so I mean, you also were aware of the dangers and the rocket attacks and all the rest of it. I mean, do you think it became normalized, not just in your communities, but in the whole of Israel to live
did.
like this?
Luckily, I wasn't there. I wasn't living there because I left the kibbutz around 30 years ago. When I left the kibbutz, it was the same peaceful place that I used to grow in. And it was a beautiful place and a really, really like a small green piece of heaven. And the last 20 years, things have been different. And they're suffering ongoing bombing, which for some reason we retaliate them, like they retaliate them. They say, okay, we build they bombing us, so we build small shelters, and we run to the shelter, and they built like a huge barricade in order to stop terrorists.
A $1 billion fence, wasn't it? The famous $1 billion fence.
Yeah, and the one underground as well.
Yeah.
Like a 40-meter concrete wall all along those 59 kilometers, which is crazy. And they simply walk with a horse and carried over the fence. And that's it. It was ridiculous. It was really one of the worst sights. And the worst sight was to see the terrorists going inside the kibbutz. There was one reporter standing inside Kibbutz Nir Oz and reporting from there, as if he was on a... And that was the hardest part, to see the unsecurity, the unsafety feeling in my own house.
The vulnerability, right, of those communities. And
as a kid in a kibbutz, you feel very, very safe.
Do you think you'd ever go back there?
To visit, yeah, but I'm afraid my friends who used to live there will find it very difficult to decide to go back. Doesn't matter what the solution will be, even if it's a great solution that will promise peace and quiet to the kibbutz. I cannot see anyone willing to go back there with kids and just reliving this nightmare. The older guys, they want to go back, of course. They have one home. That's the only home they know, so they will go back. But
people with children
are really thinking about not going back. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I can understand. They choose not to go back.
We saw, of course, 110 hostages released, women and children mainly. From what you've heard about their testimony, about how they were kept, the conditions they were kept in, and what you know about your father, who's clearly a very courageous and strong man. I mean, what do you imagine he's going through now? It must drive you crazy.
I was a bit more optimistic during the ceasefire, during those 6 days, without any soldier getting killed. With 100 and more than 100 hostages are coming back. It was like 6 days of we were overwhelmed. And last Friday, when we woke up and we understood that the war is continuing, it devastated us, almost like October 7th, because then we understood that we've been sacrificed. And I'm saying sacrificed because that's what we feel. And after I've been to the war cabinet meeting, on Tuesday. Yeah. I got confirmed. I got reassurance for that, because judging their answers, they're not prioritizing it right.